Welcome back to the elephant in the room. If you've been here before, then I would like to welcome you home. If this is your first time here, then I'm really glad you found your way to this space. This is the kind of podcast where we talk about the things people usually keep tucked away. The struggles, the doubts, the hard questions, and the uncomfortable truths that church culture doesn't always make room for. And we talk about them honestly, with scripture underneath it all. So if you're ready to get rid of your elephants in the room, then as I said before, I'm glad you found your way to this space. But if you have a made-up mind that you're going to hold on to your elephants, then you might not want to listen to this show. My name is Pastor James, and this is The Elephant in the Room. Well, welcome back, everybody. How you doing? This is Pastor James. And this is The Elephant in the Room. I know that what I'm going to talk about today, everybody is very aware of it. I'm going to talk about something that is literally on everybody's plate. And you should be concerned, because I'm talking about food safety. You know, if you've been watching the news or even just trying to shop with a little more caution, then I have no doubt that you probably heard about the cyclospora outbreak connected to recalled iceberg lettuce. Family, the numbers are sobering. More than 4,300 confirmed illnesses across at least 40 states, and over 1,300 hospitalizations, and at least, to my knowledge, 2 deaths out of Michigan. I did find some other things that reported more death, but I couldn't verify it, so I don't want to be throwing things out there that I cannot verify. But today's conversation is not about only the lettuce. It's about the system behind the lettuce. It's about what happened when the very people and process designed to protect our food supply are completely weakened. So, give me just a few minutes of your time, sit back and relax, because I believe this is something that we really need to talk about. My name is Pastor James, and this is The Elephant in the Room, and we're talking about our food and the safety thereof, because it's starting to look like our food is being weaponized against us. My name is Pastor James, and this is The Elephant in the Room. Hello, everybody. How you doing? You know, food contamination does not happen in a vacuum. Outbreaks can begin in a field. They can begin in a packing facility. They can begin in our water source. They can begin in a processing plant, or somewhere deep inside our supply chain, which most of us never ever see. That is why, with me, food safety depends on complete and total transparency. We must have trained inspectors, scientists, labs, data systems, and rapid communication between federal and state agencies. Now listen to this. You know, I always try to bring things to light, and I try to validate those things when I start to research them. But I was looking at this, and it sort of blew my mind, and then I wanted to recheck it to make sure that this was accurate. Over the past year and a half, public health experts have pointed to several major changes that may have made, listen to me, our food safety more fragile. $500 million in FDA cuts took place. $300 million in USDA cuts took place, and $200 million in CDC cuts. That's a total of about $100 billion, along with staffing reductions and regulatory delays. Now, if you don't get where I'm going or what I'm saying with this, those numbers are not just about budget line. They can literally mean fewer inspections, slower outbreak investigations, and reduced lab capacity. All of that weakens the ability to track food disease. And that also delays the warning that can get out to families. So listen to me. The shelves in our grocery stores, they look full. The packaging in our grocery stores look clean. But behind the scenes, listen to me, the safety net behind the scene is a bit thinner. One of the most important pieces of that safety net is early detection. A federal state surveillance system helped track foodborne illnesses before they become national headlines. Did you hear what I said? They help track foodborne illnesses before they become national headlines. But some reporting requirements have reportedly been reduced from 10 tracked pathogens to 6. Why were they reduced from 10 tracked pathogens to 6? Tracking requirements have literally been reduced all across the country. Losses that has been completely taken off the radar. And when you lose the radar, you often find the danger. And this is real. You often find the danger after it already had spread. You know, I'm not going to call nobody out by name or no restaurant out by name, but one of the restaurants that was on the list, me and my wife both sort of forgot about it. And we did go to this particular restaurant, and I got me some things, something to eat, and it had lettuce on it, and that thing hit me before I got home. It hit me, and it hit me hard. But after the nauseous feeling, I sort of went to bed, got up the next morning, and without being graphic, it hit me really hard, and it took me about 48 hours to recover from it. And I was a little concerned about it. We did call this particular restaurant, and we didn't call them to make any threats or anything. We didn't call them, shouting in the phone, but we wanted to let them know what had happened. My wife, she got nauseous the following day. But we called them and we let them know. And then the response was, sir, we're terribly sorry. We apologize, blah, 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 blah. If you would like for us to, give you another order, blah, 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 blah. But I was listening to her, and she made reference to the point that none of that lettuce came down here to this particular area, which, neither here nor there. I wasn't going to, try to nail it to the cross and say, yes, I'm for sure it did. Because these restaurants in this area were closed for a period of time before they opened back up. But I didn't want to try to nail it to the cross. So I just simply said, I just wanted to let you know that I did take ill from this. And I had no doubt that this meal came from here. But this is my concern right here. When all of these agencies was cut, the traceability factor, the ability to manage outbreaks, I mean, it was cut literally in half. The investigators that was needed to move quickly on these issues, I mean, they're not there. because their jobs were cut in half. And we know for a fact the faster that information about a situation, contamination of any sort, gets out, the quicker it get out, the quicker it can be pulled from the shelves. But when the traceability rules are delayed, the process itself slows down. You know, one key FDA food traceability rule originally, which was scheduled to take effect in 2026, was pushed back to 2028. Why was it pushed back to 2028? That just brings the ability to trace issues with food like cyclospora and these things. I mean, it just pushes it back. It makes it even more harder to catch up to these things because these things were scheduled and pushed back from 2026 to begin in 2028. So what do that mean? That simply means that more families will be exposed to contaminants, more hospital visits, and of course, more confusion about what is safe to eat. What is literally safe to eat. Now, I always try to be fair when I'm talking about these things. And whatever the elephant in the room may be, I always try to be fair. You know, the this current administration has defended many of these changes by saying this, and this is what they said. Those changes, those cuts were necessary to improve government efficiency, reduce waste, and eliminate redundancy. And family, that brings us to the almighty DOGE. The Department of Government Efficiency. And of course, Mr. Elon Musk. I've already been barred off of X, and I'm not trying to get barred off of anything. I'm just trying to tell the truth about things that is taking place in our community, in our country, in our world. I'm just trying to tell the truth. I call it the elephant in the room for a reason. But we had this guy that was literally making jokes of his cuts. He had a big pair of scissors in his hands. And he was literally promoting slashing the budget. DOGE was promoted as a way to make government leaner and faster. And Elon Musk became one of the most visible public faces of that effort. Supporters saw it as long overdue accountability. That's what the supporters saw. But this is what critics warned. Critics warned through complex agencies that are being cut and removed without doing a proper checks and balances on it can cause the ability to monitor disease and other food safety issues. It could cost them greatly. And this is what we're seeing right now with the cyclospora. Because of all the slashbacks, because of all the cuts, the ability is not there. And this is the balance we have to hold. Efficiency, listen to me, efficiency is not the enemy. That's not our enemy at all. Waste should be challenged. And I get it. You know, the government, I got all my brothers and sisters, they work for the government. And I get it. We don't need to be wasteful. But in order for cuts to be efficient, we can't just simply cut these agencies and make it efficient by making us have less people that are capable of inspecting for these various diseases and control these various outbreaks. A system, and this is me. I'm just Pastor James. I am not by no stretch of the imagination a government official or a politician of anything, but a system that is efficient at cutting staff, but weaker at catching contaminations. That's not efficiency. That's fragility. That's making the agency and the ability more fragile. You cutting people saying, okay, well, I'm making it more efficient. But no, you're not. You're making the ability to catch these pathogens less efficient and more fragile. The elephant in the room is this. When we remove safety nets, the fall hits harder. And when the safety net is food safety, ordinary families carry the risk. That's what's take place. Ordinary families carry the risk. So, as we get ready to close today, or tonight, I should say, let's remember this. Awareness is not fear. Awareness is stewardship. We may not control every decision made in agencies, boardrooms, farms, or supply chains, but we can choose to stay informed. We can watch recalls. We can handle food carefully. We can ask better questions, and we can speak up for systems that protect our homes and our communities. Proverbs 27:12 says this: the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. And family, we are not simple. So here's a word of wisdom for you. When the safety net gets weaker, wisdom teaches us to strengthen our own habits. Read the labels. Watch the recalls. Wash what needs washing. Store food safely. Protect your table, not with panic, family, but with purpose. So in closing, this is a little question for reflection. What is one practical step you can take this week to protect your table and help your community stay informed without living in fear? My name is Pastor James. Thank you for listening to The Elephant in the Room. Stay alert, stay grounded, and remember this: an informed community is an empowered community. Until next time, I'll catch you on the next show. My name is Pastor James. I love you, and may God bless you, and always trust this right here. When you don't feel like you have no other way but down, look up. Because when you look up, He got you. My name is Pastor James, and this has been The Elephant in the Room. Peace.